Hi, third grade. This is Mrs. Morgan, and I'm going to be teaching your lesson today. So we are moving on from perimeter that we did last week, and we are starting something completely new today. So what we're going to learn about is mass and how we estimate that mass using math. So I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint so that you can follow along with me. Okay, and here we have the first slide. So it says, I can estimate the mass of an object using grams and kilograms. So those are the words that we're going to be using a lot in today's lesson is grams and kilograms. Those are just kind of a label that we use to measure mass, kind of like we use pounds or we use inches or centimeters. That's all that grams and kilograms are, okay? So first thing I want you to do is play this would you rather game. So I have a quarter and I have a penny. So I want you to think about this. Would you rather get your whole weight, how much you weigh, in pennies? Or would you rather have how tall you are in quarters stacked up? So I want you to think about that for just a second. Maybe tell somebody in the room next to you, which one would you rather have? Okay, so we're gonna move on. If it were me, I would rather have a stack of quarters for how tall I am because quarters are worth more than pennies are. So we're gonna go on to the next one. So it says let's talk about mass. Mass, what is that word? It's the amount of matter in an object or kind of the space that an object takes up. So how big is it? How much space does it have in our world? So we're going to talk about how to measure that in grams and kilograms. Remember, those are the two words that we're going to learn today. So grams we use to measure small things. So you can see right here on my picture that it has 1 grain of rice. Okay, so grams we're using to measure small things. All right, kilograms we use to measure bigger things, not huge things like an elephant, but we would use kilograms to measure things, and I'll give examples in a little bit. So at the bottom, I want you to look and see that it says 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. So I have that picture of rice to kind of show you what 1 grain of rice looks like and what 1,000 grains of rice looks like. So a kilogram is bigger. It takes a lot of grams to make a kilogram. Kind of like it takes 12 inches to make 1 foot. It's like that. So we're going to move on to the next one and talk about some real life examples. Okay, so I actually have some with me, and I am going to switch to just me so you can see these examples of things that I have. Okay, so right now I have a paper clip. All right, and this paper clip is really small. So I'm going to say it's about 1 gram because I know that grams are used to measure smaller things. So this paper clip is probably about 1 gram, okay? I also have this pen cap, and this is also really small. So I'm going to say this is about 1 gram as well. Now I have this big book. This is a big book of poems, actually. And this is much bigger than a pen cap or a paper clip. So I'm going to measure this book and say it's probably about 1 kilogram because it's a bigger measurement. So I'm going to use kilograms to measure this big book. I also have this baseball bat. This is Mr. Eric's baseball bat, actually, that he got at a factory. But this baseball bat is pretty big. I can't even get it in the whole picture. See? So I'm probably going to say this baseball bat is about 1 kilogram because it's bigger than a paper clip or a pen cap. So a paper clip would be about 1 gram. A baseball bat would be about 1 kilogram. Okay, so I'm going to show you a chart back to my PowerPoint where you can see that. So let's go back. All right, real life examples, and then here's my chart. See, you can see that items that are about 1 gram would be a paper clip or the cap of a pen, and items that are about 1 kilogram would be a dictionary, that's just an example of a big book, or a baseball bat. So now I'm going to ask you a question to see if you can figure out where these things would go. So I also have an almond. Okay, the nut, just 1 almond. Do you think that that would go in the category that's about 1 gram, or do you think it would be about 1 kilogram? So I'm going to give you just a second to think about that. Where would you put an almond in the chart? Just 1 little almond. See, he's covering up my face now, close to the camera. Hopefully you decided that this would be about 1 gram because it's pretty similar to 1 paper clip or 1 pen cap, right? Those are about the same size. Notice I'm using that word about because I'm estimating or kind of rounding the mass of that object. All right, next one. How about a bag of rice? This bag of rice, do you think this bag of rice would be about 1 gram or about 1 kilogram? Think about that and look at the chart to compare it to some of the other things we talked about. And I'll give you just 1 second to decide where would that go on the chart. Hopefully you said that a bag of rice would go into the 1 kilogram chart because a bag of rice is much bigger and heavier than 1 almond, right? So I would say a bag of rice is more similar to this big book. Okay. We also use kilograms and grams in word problems. So you may have seen some word problems like this before. So here's an example. It says, Joey brought 20 grams of goldfish for his snack. He gave 5 grams of the goldfish to his friend. How many grams of goldfish does Joey have left? Okay, so in this word problem, they just use the word grams as a label, kind of like we used feet as a label when we were talking about perimeter word problems, or we used inches in perimeter word problems. Sometimes you might see word problems that have grams or kilograms in them because they're measuring the mass of, in this case, Joey's goldfish. So now it's going to be your turn. So what I want you to do today is you are going to look around your house and find some examples of different things using grams and kilograms. So here at my house, I showed you that I found a paper clip and a pen cap and an almond that were about 1 gram. So you're going to be looking for those smaller things, right, to measure grams. But I also want you to find things that might be about 1 kilogram. So remember, I found this book that was about 1 kilogram. I found this baseball bat that's about 1 kilogram. And this bag of rice that's about 1 kilogram. So I want you to find 5 things of each if you can. So this is a time to be really creative and have fun. Okay, then there is 1 word problem that I want you to solve that has grams or kilograms as a label. So after you watch this video, I want you to answer the questions below in the Google form that you've been doing with your other teachers already, okay? So I know you know how to do it. You're just going to answer the questions right there in the Google form. You don't need a separate piece of paper. Then you'll submit it at the end and I can see your answers and I can see the cool creative things that you found in your house. Look, I already thought of one. My ring is probably about 1 gram, do you think? I would probably use grams instead of kilograms because my ring is small. So have fun finding those different things that you're measuring their mass using grams and kilograms.